Test, 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 test. Yeah, that's working now. Wasn't quite working before, but it is now. Well, good morning, everybody, or maybe afternoon where you're at. It's 9:30 in the morning here in the Philippines. Actually, it's 9:29. Started this just a minute early, so it is what it is. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. So many different kinds of things to talk about. Prices here going up all the way around. It's Holy Week. Traffic is going to be pretty miserable for the next week here in Angeles. For Central Luzon, they have added 1,000 police officers for Central Luzon. Hello, Jaybird. How are you? Uh, okay. Well, I guess I'm not hot, but he does have me. That's good. Yeah, I'm trying to change my microphone settings just a little bit to where it's not oversaturated, but to at least where it's reasonable. So they've added 1,000 police officers to Luzon. Let's see here. Then what is listed on YouTube? No, Michael. That is the only email that we put out. I do have multiple emails. We get a lot of email. And so if I have not gotten to your email yet, I will. Sunday and Monday are pretty much my catch up days. Those are the days that we tend to catch up. We generally have pretty easy, not too difficult Sundays and Mondays. This week might be a little different. We're finishing up our U.S. taxes and U.S. personal taxes and U.S. corporate taxes are getting caught up. So we kind of stay a little busy for that. And then we ran into some weird snag about getting one of our vehicles in the province registered. It's time to renew its registration, and it's becoming a big pain. So if I haven't gotten to your email yet, I will. That's for sure. It's just been a lot going on here lately. We've had a lot going on. We've been planning our trips out to we have a busy trip schedule, to say the least, this summer. We've got my daughter coming in June. She'll be here June 1st. Then Arlene goes to the province to visit her father for his birthday, July 21st. And then the end of August, we both go back to the province for Fiesta. And then we're going to have multiple trips with my daughter. So we haven't exactly figured it out, but we will. Good morning, Kiki and Jasmine. Oh, there we go. Good morning, Kiki and Jasmine. BGC, what are you doing in BGC? I thought you lived somewhere else for some reason. But yeah, it's hot this morning. It's been a hot week, to be honest with you. I actually have the aircon running while I'm doing the live that we have going on right now. It's been warm and it's been humid. I wonder what your humidity level is like there in BGC. But either way, so between all of the family trips this summer and the things that we're also getting into, and then with my daughter and her trip, and making sure we get the what's the business owner? It's been just so busy. You know what, Michael? I think I saw that, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. And I'm going to be really honest with you. You know, you'd be talking, we're not like some people. We can't give you a definitive answer about stuff we just don't know about. And, uh, you know, the problem we run into all the time is what we've seen and what we know about real estate in the United States just doesn't apply here. For instance, even during pandemic, people would have property for sale with no light at the end of the tunnel, and their willingness to discount that property to offload it was negligible, absolutely negligible. I think that business business property is an area that I don't know anything about, even in America. I've owned one property business wise in the United States, and that was only because I actually had to buy the property in order to buy the business. And that was actually, for some of you that know, I accidentally or through a stroke of whatever, bought a topless bar back in the early 90s back in Phoenix. And the only way that I could acquire the business was to buy the property. And it was actually a square city block, but very, very small, very, very small city block. And that's the only time I've actually bought business property. So I would be very hesitant to give you some good advice on that, because I would hate for you to make a bad investment. Kiki says he got a condo in BGC. His Filipino lives in BGC, so he gets around. Okay. Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Do you live somewhere else besides? Do you have another residence? Let's see here. Jaybird says, can anyone recommend a good source of job postings for Filipino nationals? I have a friend that worked customer service and needs a job. Jaybird, I can't give you a good one that isn't also full of scams. I mean, we run into we have a lot of expat friends who have local girlfriends and wives, and they actually want to work, and they're all the time, picking up these Facebook job offers and stuff like that, and they almost always turn out to be scams. So if somebody else knows of a particular direction, I maybe they'll post it, but not us. We don't do that. Dari, hello everyone. Just watched Philly in the Philippines doing a vlog about no more filming on Walking Street, day or night. He's having a fit. Excuse me. Dari, watch the entire video. I'm not going to spoil it, but watch it to the end, and you'll find out it's not such a big fit. I also watched it this morning, and so it is. But you know what? It wouldn't bother us. We don't film Walking Street except on special occasions like Halloween. So it wouldn't bother us if it was real or not. It's just not what we do. Dano and Pino, oh my gosh, how are you guys doing? It's nice to see you. Living the dream in Girona, Tarlac. Shout out, Mike. I like Dano. He's kind of very, very straightforward kind of guy. I like him. And now it's Philo in the Philippines from Mabalacat. Just a couple blocks from me, actually. Maybe about a 5-minute drive, if depending on traffic. How's Jonah and Anthony? Philo has a great channel. He's been around for like, God, I don't know, 8-10 years or something like that. Knows a lot about Angeles City. I highly recommend him. Very straightforward, straight to the point kind of guy. Highly recommend him. He just had a baby, so it's great. He Dari, and I think you're talking about Philly. Yeah, you know what? I think a lot of bloggers are like that, me included, because we're grasping for ways to extend or explain the content that we have. We try not to, but it happens. What can I say? BT and Betty, they're from around here out towards Arayat, Mount Arayat, if I'm not mistaken. Good morning, BT and Betty. Moon River, how are you, young lady? You know, that icon of yours. Moon, do I know you from a gaming channel by some chance? Did you used to be a gamer or still are even maybe? Living out, I don't know, towards Cavite? You remind me of your photo reminds me of an icon that one of our game members had. So who knows? I don't know. Jaybird Moon, Jaybird saying hey to everybody. And the new mini me, Anthony, Tony. Yeah, Moon, I know you. I met you originally on Mike's channel. I remember that, but Kulakan, Kulakan, but I can't remember exactly. Your icon is very familiar from one of my old teammates on a State of Survival gaming channel. But okay, not her. So, well, either way, always welcome, Moon. That's for sure. A voice of tolerance is nice to hear and nice to have. There's no doubt about that. I used to play State of Survival. I used to be actually a pretty big player on State of Survival back during the pandemic. I mean, it was before we got into YouTube, but I got out of it I got out of it in July of last year. So let's see what else is going on in the Philippines. It's hot. It's humid. There's not much of a cloud in the sky this morning. A little high cumulus overcast, and that's about it. I actually have the aircon running here in the office this morning to keep me cool while we do this. I think we're going out to dinner tonight, or we might be going out to dinner tonight with one of our friends. And Hillbilly. Well, it's free. So State of Survival was free, but if you wanted to excel, it wasn't cheap. And then finally I just said, oh, there's no way I'm going to continue doing this. Jaybird, have them look for a company in the West looking for customer service rep online and real job site. That's a good suggestion. That might work well. There are quite a few call centers here, but I don't know how to get in touch with them because it's nothing that I actually use. We don't do that. Yeah, internet gaming can get quite expensive. That's for sure. I've seen people spend, tens of thousands. So, And that's, for me, it was kind of like, it's not worth tens of thousands, that's for sure. So, but anyways, there's call centers here, but I don't know that's really what you guys are actually super hot. Water interruption, electricity interruption too. We haven't had either one here yet. I expect that we will have a brownout or two during the week, because I can tell you right now, we live at Candy Palace and it's full. And there are a lot of not just traditional foreigners, tourists, but we've noticed that this particular week, or starting Friday, we noticed a lot of Filipinos checking in. Candy Palace a little bit different than the rest of Candy. It's very family oriented, although you wouldn't know it from the decorations, but it is very family oriented. And we get a lot of Filipino families that come and stay here. So let's see here. Just got home from there today. Oh, okay. Yeah, Moon's right. Always hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. It's terrible. When I lived in the U.S., my CPA and my doctor all the time bitched at me about soda. I was a 12-pack a day of diet soda. Now I'm about maybe 3 sodas a week at most. Diet Coke always, because I'm diabetic. Or, that doesn't count when I have a mixed drink and it's mixed with soda. So yeah, hydration is a big deal. Mike, you like Telly Savalas put a sucker in your mouth in person in studios, met him in person in Studio City, California. Well, Dano, here's the funny thing. My mother is French. My father is Greek. And the rumor, and I say this rumor, and it's very, very much unsubstantiated as far as I know, is that Telly Savalas is some distant cousin of ours. I have no idea if that's true. It's probably not true. But yeah, I get told that. And actually, I told Arlen, next time we go to SM, let's buy a pack of those, big package of those little suckers, and I'll do a couple videos with those and see what people say. Michael, you'll find small company need part-time person to do that small task online, but the pay will be big money in the Philippines. Okay, that's great advice. Absolutely, Kiki says. Now that was funny. You would not know it's family friendly in the decor. Yeah, you wouldn't know it. It's the decor, the artwork. I mean, none of this artwork or photography and decor in our unit did we buy. It was part of a decoration package that was already purchased for the unit when we bought the unit before it was finished. Mountain Dew. Ooh, I love Mountain Dew. I can't drink it, but I love it. Brewer fan, it's Holy Week next week. Yeah, Brewer fan, it is. It's absolutely Holy Week. And on top of it being Holy Week, it's already here. I mean, they are coming in. They really and truly are. The gamer scene, let me see. Diary, the gamer scene, they let people get to a good level before they're competitive to the point of pulling out the wallet and buy hardware. Yeah, and it's not just hardware. I mean, some of those games can get quite expensive to keep up with the Joneses. That's for sure. Ace Bachelor, cool. Spokane, Washington, 6:45 p.m. I bet it's not hot and humid there. How you doing, Ace? I see you're getting ready, moving stuff to your sisters, getting stuff done. Did you ever get rid of your bed yet, or is that still hanging around? Yeah, it starts on April 6th. And of course, ace number one, bachelor because I'm single and cool because I am. And Ace is, I got to say, Ace has got a very unique channel. I highly suggest it. We know Ace. We've run into him on many occasions, and we know him, and he's a really, really nice guy. But it's funny, Dari, because in the U.S., I really don't get people really didn't say anything about it. But here, I've gotten quite a bit of people that say that. Yeah, Moon, it'll be hotter in May. And, my problem with it is, my daughter has a very limited amount of time. She graduates from college, but she's continuing. So she has a very limited summer schedule. Plus, she works part time to get hours in for her internship. And she's going to be here in June, and it's going to be hot no matter where we go. So, hey, James, and how are you? Good morning, young man from Cubayo Laguna. James drops in and comments on our videos, and his comments are always very good. So it's good to see you here. Hey, Philo, I talked to a buddy of mine the other day. They've been going to a place where they play virtual golf with. Have you been to that place? I don't play golf, but they play this virtual golf, and they said it was actually pretty good. Elvin, young man, how are you doing? How's things going back statesides for you, Elvin? You doing well? Everything's going good, we hope? Well, we hope so. I'm sorry. I'm still getting used to reading. I'm trying to keep up, which, since I'm so small, it's easy for me to keep up. But it does take me switching back and forth to see what's going on. Dari says it's very cool. Definitely a compliment. Telly was a smoother operator in the detective genre. It was pretty good. I can remember watching him. I just never considered it. Okay, Philo, you say you'd like to try it. You know what? I'm going to run into one of my buddies that went there the other day to find out where it is. And I'll get the information for you. He said it was good, but it had some, you had to kind of get used to hitting the ball a little bit different because, I don't know, something about it'll go left or it'll go right much easier than a normal stroke. But I don't know that much about golf. Elvin says everything's going great, and that's good to hear. That's for sure. Hillbilly Pyro. Let me tell you guys, if I had time and I was back in the States, this is a guy I would go spend a weekend with. He blows crap up, and it looks fun. And I think I'd have a good time just blowing crap up with him for a weekend. He can be very destructive, and it just looks fun. Check his channel out. He's got some neat stuff in there. Philo says, Ace says, yes, Philo, I'm bringing golf clubs with me. Well, that's good. I wish I could golf. I wish I knew how. I wish I could do it. Wow, I have 11 thumbs up. That's a lot for me. That's a lot for this channel. We're starting to grow a little bit now, and that's kind of fun. We start for some reason. It took me like 6 weeks to go from 1,600 subscribers to 1,700 subscribers. That was kind of crazy. 6 weeks. I don't know. Maybe I was just putting out too much garbage. I have no idea. Dari, virtual golf sounds like it would be really fun. Reminds me of Dave and Buster's set up in the States. You know what? I've only been to Dave and Buster's once. And it was for a birthday party, and it was kind of fun. Dano says, love golf in the Philippines, my favorite game. You know what? And that surprises me. I mean, not that Dano likes golf, but I just didn't think of golf being a big game in the Philippines. I never thought about. I mean, I knew when we lived in Manila, there were a couple golf courses around, but I figured, oh, it's just an upper echelon type thing. But quite frankly, there are a lot of just average Joes out there golfing like crazy. My buddy told me there's so many Koreans in town right now that getting a decent tee time is getting really hard. So Ace is saying, yeah, baby, because that's what Philo always says. Yeah, baby, finally got me a golf partner. Yeah, there are a number of them around. There really are. I have a question, Michael says. Does anyone's wife still take a bath from a bucket when they have a shower or bathtub? Well, Michael, let me tell you. In the province, in our home in the province, one of the CRs is not completely finished and does not have a shower head yet. And that's one of our projects next time we go down. Arlene, if I'm in the shower in our master bedroom, Arlene will not hesitate to go downstairs and take a shower with a bucket and they call it a taboo, Tabu, I think is how you spell it. So it's just not uncommon at all. But Arlene prefers a shower. You know, she had, when Arlene first came to the U.S., she was surprised that we didn't have a bucket and taboo because it's like a backup. You know, in the province, you don't have running water all the time, so you can't run the shower. So they keep that in every bathroom in case they want to wash up, but there's no running water at that time. Interesting thought. Great question, though, Michael. Thanks. Dari says, Dave and Buster's after 10 at night, the bar opens, the adults take over, the only place you can ride a jet ski drunk out of your mind. I don't know. I've had plenty of friends ride a jet ski drunk out of their mind on the lake. And they used to bitch about it all the time, but we know people that did. I think here in our house we have the bathtub and the shower, but we still use a bucket. Tabo, there we go. Moon River's got the right Tabo, but we're still using bucket and tabo. Yeah, and you know, if you've never used the bucket and tabo, it's actually a very efficient system. And you can rinse a whole lot. You know, one dipper full of water rinses. If I pour it over my head, like I shave my head every day. So I have, you know, I put soap and then I shave it and then I wash my face and I shave my beard, all right, and my neck. And then one bucket of water and it's all gone. Whereas in the shower, and we have very good shower pressure, I have to stand under there, you know, kind of do this. So it's actually a very efficient system. And when there's no water in the province, it's the only way. Ace Bachelor, cool. 2 years, 1,400 subs. Nobody likes me. Well, come on, Ace. Now, first off, you didn't start really blogging until you got here in the Philippines, didn't you? I mean, you were blogging before, but not seriously. But vlogging ahead of time. You've got 1,400 subs. I think both of us, I started, I think September 17th is when I started vlogging in the Philippines. So, you know, I'm not having any spectacular growth either. That's for sure. Who Loves You, baby? My fave was Book 'em Down, Hawaii Five-0. I used to watch Hawaii Five-0. When I was a young kid, I actually lived in Hawaii for about 5, 6 months. Um, I was 15 years old at the time. Lived right there off of Waikiki Beach with my grandparents, right behind the zoo, actually. Miyagi dropping in. He's actually working. Well, Miyagi, I hope you're not working too hard. Did your girlfriend get her stuff set up with her OFW work in Japan? Miyagi, really neat guy. Met him at a recent meet and greet. Super neat. And him and Mogman and their partners, really, really nice folks. Great folks. I can't say enough about them. They were super nice people. So, oh yeah, and that's right. Miyagi knows Moon from Mike's channel. Hillbilly Pyro, my main channel has 1.6 thousand. I lost the info and can't log into it for the last 2 years, but the number has not dropped yet. Seems like there'd be some way to be able to get back into it, Pyro. Still like to blow that stuff up, though. She left Friday. I bet you miss her. So we met Miyagi at the Angeles City meet and greet, at Mike's meet and greet. And unfortunately, Mike wasn't able to make it. But we met his partner, and she just got I'm not going to go into any details for personal reasons, but just landed an absolutely, what will be, I hope, an outstanding opportunity in Japan for a job. And so congrats to her, and I'm sure he's missing her already. I hope she made it there okay, and the travel wasn't too bad. Michael says, we're in the USA, and she dumped the extra water in the toilet. I did not know this, and I was tearing the toilet apart one day because the water level was low in the bowl. I thought it was broken. Yeah, it takes some getting used to. It took a while for Arlen to get used to it. Arlen still isn't used to taking baths. You know, I had this great big jacuzzi tub for two in the master bedroom, and baths just seemed like a waste of water to her. She still preferred showers. Jay Berg saying hi, Miyagi. Jason Miyagi saying hi. Dari, the original Hawaii Five-0, I had relatives in the military that lived there during the filming of that show. Yeah, I don't think I lived there when they were filming it, or if I did, I just didn't pay any attention to it. I blew up a Eric Cartman doll and used way too big a charge, took out my fire control module. You know, Pyro, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful about what kind of stuff you blow up. Okay? I am very fortunate. Yes, James, 20 watching with 17 thumbs up is the best performance of a live that we've ever done. So, you know, and I assure you that those of you that have emailed me, we've just had a super busy week with taxes and getting flights done and everything else. So this coming week we'll be answering a lot more of the stuff we get. I do have to let you know, I get some comments sometimes, and as I can, for those comments that talk about other people, I delete them. Not because I'm so proud of my channel that you can't talk about other people. I believe it's not Arlen and I's position to sit there and allow comments about things and people that we don't see both sides of the story to. So we just don't deal with it. We try and keep the negativity as low as possible, although I can be kind of negative. I did get some negative comments about yesterday's video. I guess some people felt like my wife trying to teach ignorant, dumbass expatriates and foreigners about the use of a condom was inappropriate. I think I find it still appropriate. It still disturbs the living crap out of me. But that's what it is. And 20 watching. Dari says, I've seen some of the province loggers showing rentals. You would see 3 or 4 small trash cans full of water just in case the water flow stops. Yeah, we have our own well. So we never have that problem. But during construction, before the well was completed, during that construction phase, we were on the city water. And so in my wife's province in Kitchener, we would get water. It would take about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. The pressure would be so low, 3 to 4 minutes to fill up a blue jug from about 7 a.m. till about 10 a.m. Then if you got water at all, it would be at a trickle. It would take 10, 15, 20 minutes to fill up a blue jug from about 10 till about 4 in the afternoon, and then back down to that low pressure from 4 till about 8 at night, and then no water after 8 p.m. at night. So yes, people do stock them. It's not uncommon at all. It just isn't at all uncommon. Let's see what we've got here. 20 watching, 18 thumbs up. That's great. Love it. Love it. Thank you very much. Trash cans. Leah said hi to Arlene. I'm on the phone with her from Japan. Tell Leah we said hey, and I'll tell Arlene. Arlene's hiding in the living room right now. She actually does some aerobics and TV aerobics and weight work in the mornings. So that's kind of what she's done. She was on the treadmill before the live, and now she's finishing up her workout. Good on you, Mike, for your Swiss-like position. Oh, my neutrality. I just don't believe. You know what? When one of the reasons we're not a big channel is we have organic growth based on only what we know, based on only what our experiences are and what we know. And because of that, we're not out in the fringe area. We're not causing a lot of drama, and that's kind of the way it is, and we're happy with it. I don't have to make a living off of YouTube for sure. Anything we make off of YouTube just generally ends up going back towards YouTube. Honest to God. Porn. Elvin says, keep it positive. Indeed, I will, Elvin. Thank you. Dardos, Journey. Yes, porno cucumber. Action, blue, wide eyes. Yeah, well, it was meant to be a little bit of humor as well. Hillbilly Pyro, how deep before you hit water there? Not deep at all. You can actually hit the surface table at about 15 to 20 feet in the province. All right. You can hit a deep water aquifer at about 40 feet. And, we're pumping, we have a 2 horsepower pump on a 60 liter high pressure tank, and we're pumping about 30 gallons a minute pressure. I mean, it's pressure. It really is. So let's see. I went to school with a guy that had 8 kids by the age of 24 by 8 different women. We're out at a bar drinking beer and told them the magic number is 12, and they all dropped child support. I don't know what the magic number is, but I did a blog recently. I feel parents should be responsible and own up to child support and own up to supporting and being a proud parent and participating in that child's life. That's just all there is to it. You want to complain, we want to complain about things wherever we are. One of the first things we need to do is raise a society of children into adults that make things better. Not supporting those children isn't going to help. He did it at the judge, put him in jail for back child support. Good. All right. He needed to be in jail. Mike says, I don't fall for legal advice from drunk guy. Yeah, I don't even take regular advice from a drunk guy. But, hey, I don't know. Sometimes Ace Bachelor Cool's got some pretty good advice after a few drinks. The whole child support system needs to be worked. It's very unfair to men. You know what, Pyro? I believe it is unfair, but I believe it's nowhere near correct. I don't believe that women should be able to stop you from seeing your child, and I don't believe that an ex should be able to move your child out of a decent visitation range. That being said, I don't believe $300 a month is a reasonable child support number, given the economy in the U.S. But it is what it is. Had to refresh his thing. Dano says he's not going to monetize his channel and do it for pleasure. Well, we do them for pleasure too, Dano. We really do. We don't do it for the money. But if they're going to give us money for doing it, then great. All right? I mean, we don't have a PayPal and we don't do donations and stuff like that. But if they're going to give us money, why not take it? What the heck? There's no sense in not using it, in my opinion. But we like it. And, we don't make much, that's for sure. I think I made $100 last month. Living in the province is nothing like living in the country. Back in the USA, I think a lot of expats regard moving there as I've seen so many vloggers selling their homes there just after a year or two. James, you're absolutely correct. The province in the Philippines is nothing like living in the country in the U.S. The province is a whole different world. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I don't see a lot of expats that live full-time in the province for a long length of time. Although there's some. Don't get me wrong. There are some. And if you have a big enough family that are able to take care of themselves and you have a nice compound and everything, well, then the province may be a little different. But it is not so bad. Yeah, 10 to 15 feet hits you the shallow water, and then and then 25 to 35 you can start hitting deep water aquifer. Because keep in mind, the Philippines is the reason it's islands in the middle of the ocean that still stand is because their base is granite and limestone. Miyagi, stop talking about Arlen exercising. You got tired of listening to it. Yeah, I got tired of talking about it too because it makes me tired just to watch her. I get sleepy watching her exercise. Yeah, I guess some kind of a magic number. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be about the number of kids or what. The magic number, according to Jaybird, is 0. Well, maybe for Jay Bird, all right, and for many other people. I know people that are parents that really aren't the best parents in the world, though they try hard to do their very best. For me, 1 was a great number. Daria, I had my ex move mine thousands of miles away when he was young. It's not a good thing. No, Daria, it's not. It's not a good thing. And, that's one of the things that I fully understand. One of the agreements that my ex-wife and I had regarding my daughter was that neither one of us was allowed to move out of the county without the other person's express permission, or that the child or our child would live full-time in the county with the remaining parent. They were not allowed to. And the judge accepted that. Pyro says, I did not divorce to my daughter till she left her college spending years with a woman I could not trust to raise my girl. Yeah, I can certainly understand that. Miyagi, you take care. All right. Hope Leah takes care, and wishing her the best and best of luck. That's for sure. So, yeah, I have a lot of issues with respect to parenting, and a lot of issues with respect to raising a child. And I don't believe the laws are fair. But you have to work with what you've got. And sacrifice, unfortunately, is sometimes necessary to do the right thing. That's just all there is to it. So what else is going on in the Philippines? Let me see here. Well, like I said, we've got the 1,000 policemen. They've moved into Luzon for the Holy Week. And I see also along in that article that they are going to leave them in place during the summer months. So we'll see how that goes. Let's just hope they don't screw traffic up too bad. So Dari wants to know some of the subjects I'm possibly working on. Well, we're working on a couple of different projects because we want to try and get a more diversified situation with respect to information. We believe we're going to be, or want to be, moving more towards hearing from and talking to actual expats, foreigners, Filipinas, even Filipinos, about what life is like here and what it was like 5 years ago. It's funny, I saw a blog the other day, and the guy was talking about it's not like it used to be 5 years ago. For him, it's not like it used to be 5 years ago. All right? 5 years ago, the vast majority of tourists, or a large number of the tourists in Angeles City, were Westerners or Caucasians. Let's just use that word. What we see now is the large majority or large number of tourists in Angeles City are actually Koreans. And when we were in Boracay, the large number of tourists we saw there were Koreans. And that has a lot to do with their stock market and a lot to do with their economics. But they're going to be facing some of their own issues. Well, I think everybody in the world is going to be facing issues. But Korea has this really weird, for those of us in the West and even in the Philippines, our choices are buy a residence, rent a residence. It's one of the two, right? If you consider a lease, rent, same thing. In Korea, there's a third option. and I don't have it in front of me, but I'll give you a brief synopsis. In Korea, you temporarily buy it, okay? And what I mean by that is let's say Dari has a condo and I want to rent it. And the condo's worth, I don't know, $2 million. I'm going to give Dari $200,000 and for 2 years. At the end of that 2 years, I get my $200,000 back. During those 2 years, Dari gets to make interest on the investment. And this used to work very well for the Koreans. Okay? Except the only reason it worked was because the stock market was giving greater returns than what they would be getting in the bank with that money. So it worked out well. Now, the stock market in Korea has dropped precipitously over the past 12, 24 months. And a lot of these landlords did risky investments. And because they did risky investments, they can't return the money to those people now. So we're going to be interested to see what happens with the Koreans over the next 24 to 36 months. Dari says there'll be a large influx of tourists, which is why some things are changing, hence the continuous building of condos and hotels. Absolutely. Absolutely correct. Michael says, I worked with a guy who never got a paycheck till 6 months before retirement. Child support took all his pay. He was married 6 times and had to work a part-time job to support himself. He worked a 4A pension. I'm not sure what a 4A pension is. Married 6 times. You would have thought he might have learned after the second or third time. But I don't know. I just don't know. You know, like I said in that blog, there are always 2 sides to every story. There are always exceptions to every rule. That's for sure. Dari, Michael, the courts can't take all your money. They go by percentage of what your net pay actually is. Actually, that's true. That's very true. They can't take all your money. But again, you know, there are exceptions and loopholes everywhere. Michael says, Hillbilly says, that's what I mean, Michael. A man should care for his kids, but the courts get there, cut everyone gets paid but the man. Well, it can certainly happen, that's for sure. But, you know, there are a lot of extenuating circumstances. But even if you don't have $1, you should be there to go to a PTA meeting, meet with your child's teachers, find out what's going on in your child's life. You know, make a phone call, something. Jaybird says, pro tip for travel. Consider flying out of Clark instead of Manila. I flew to Cebu, and there it is 1,000 times easier and cleaner. Yes, Jaybird, Clark is a much nicer solution. You may have to change planes in Cebu in some instances, but they are getting more and more direct flights every day. Korean Airlines has a flight to the U.S. Through Clark, as well as a couple others, and the domestic flights are also getting much better. Traffic is zero. Absolutely. Last time when we went to Thailand a month ago, 2 months ago, it took 3.5 hours from the time we walked into the airport to the time we could get to our gate. So Michael says, each sport case needs to be paid, so they took what they needed. I saw his check pay stub, 0. Wow. Yeah, I've never been to the Cebu airport. I hear the Cebu airport is very nice. And with my daughter coming this summer, we might actually be transiting through Cebu airport. So we'll see what happens. Dari says, I read a while back the new president is attempting to either get a loan from China to implement the 3 light rail lines in Manila area to reduce traffic in city. Yeah, and actually, Dari, there was a follow-up to that. The loan from China was already there. It was part of their Belt and Road. And China had 6 months to appoint a construction company to qualify for that money. And the company had to have Filipino oversight, and they never did. And the interest rate was something like 5.5% or 4.5%. Well, the new president canceled, of the 5, they canceled 3, and then went to the Japanese and got all new loans at 0.5% to finish building them. So, yes. In fact, one of those railroads is going to come right here through Angeles. We'll have high-speed rail all the way down to Manila. James says, I really don't see a large influx of tourists anytime soon. The economy and inflation has hurt a lot of people. Look at the numbers. They're still way down pre-COVID. Yes, the numbers are down. And even though they say they're growing, they're still not up to where they should be. So, yes, you're absolutely true. Elvin says in New York City, it's 17% of your income for one child, and for 2 children, it's 35% of your income. Okay, there you go. Tahari, I'll be flying into Cebu at the end of this month. Korean Airlines stops in Incheon. Yes, I've taken that flight before when it flew into Manila. I haven't taken that flight now that it flies into, and actually started flying into Cebu it was actually flying into Cebu, I think, pre-COVID. But yes, and I love connecting through Cebu. I love flying. It's an Airbus 380 double-decker. Business class, and that is exceptionally nice. I sleep all the way from L.A. to, 3 hours before we get to Incheon. And Incheon's a great airport. So, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, China's been laying debt traps everywhere, and they have. And people are beginning to see it and they're beginning to see it and understand it. There's no doubt. Michael says, don't talk to me about Manila. My wife flew in during International Summit, could not fly out and could not get out due to road closures for 5 days. Wow, that blows. Sorry to hear that. Shoot, stuck for 5 days. Ugh. Dari says, people are trickling in, but inflation is causing people to stay. Yeah, inflation's kicking people's asses everywhere. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous what people pay for everything anywhere now. You know, I mean, red meat here in the Philippines was never a great deal. All right, but even chicken, pork, and eggs have gone up. Vegetables have gone up. My daughter tells me what she paid for a dozen eggs the other day in California. And I was like, oh my God, you know, I could buy 30 eggs for that here. I can remember when my daughter was paying $7 a gallon for gas in California. Now it's gone down since then. But yeah, inflation has just gotten outrageous. A Swiss family helped her get a cab to the hotel because she watched their bags when they went to look for a cab. Well, that was nice of them. That really and truly was. Off to the Korean spa at Venus Hotel, Philo. Okay. Philo goes to this place at the Venus Hotel. It's a Korean spa, no hanky-panky stuff. They do. They have like sauna, steam, and a cold dip, and you alternate between them. And he swears it's the best thing since sliced bread. He gave me a free pass, and when I get some time, I think I'm going to use it. Kiki says I slept for 9 hours on Thursday on my way here from Dublin. That's nice. You got to admit, anytime you can get more than 4 hours of straight sleep on a flight, that's really great. It really is. Dari says, I'm surprised no one talking about all the China investments in Africa. They'll be taking that over soon. Yeah, they have. In fact, I read an article about how they built like a seaport in one of the African nation coastal areas, and it's like a perfect deep water military port. But you know what? That's just what I read. I don't know how true it is. I don't know what there is to it. And I don't know the veracity of the actual statement itself. But none of it surprises me. None of it at all. It just is what it is. And I see that the China GDP is starting to rise again. So they're going to be a power. They're going to continue to be a power to reckon with. Dano, you have a great day. Hope you do well and your partner. John says President Joe brought all the inflation to and spread around the world. Well, he certainly did something. But I mean, at the same time, and though I'm no fan of President Biden, I'll make no qualms about it. The whole world brought it upon themselves as well. I mean, the world was full of greedy people, and the rich making the rich richer, and making the poor poorer, and driving up the prices of things. I mean, it's just gotten to that point. So inflation goes round and round. I think that one of the things that we're going to have to look forward to in about 15 years is food. And I don't mean food like we have now. I mean, you're going to find out that only countries that are able to have excess grain and food to export, those are going to be the most powerful countries, without a doubt. I mean, you think about it, they will be the most powerful countries because you don't need gold to live. But by God, you need bread. Spread around inflation. Oh, I'm sorry, I got carried away there. Dari says, I'm not sure if it's still available on YouTube, but if you can find The New Silk Road, it's an interesting documentary to actually see their trajectory to move products globally. Yeah, I actually have seen it. I did watch it. And that was actually based on a book that I read previously. And it's absolutely true. It absolutely is. So, wow, 20 in here and 23 thumbs up. So thank you so very much, people. This is the biggest live stream we've ever had. I'm going to have to start doing them a little bit more often, maybe. But thank you so very, very much. It's most appreciated. But the book was great, and then I watched the documentary, and they did a great job. They really and truly do. Michael says, heads up for flights. Play with the airports in your area and to destination airports. You can save hundreds of dollars if you look around. Yes. Yeah, there are so many hacks to flying. And, the issue with the hacks is sometimes some of them are only on a Thursday, or some of them are only in this region, or some of them are here and some of them are there. You just got to do what Michael said. You've got to keep abreast of them all the time. and look at all the options to make them work. Elvin says, hey, Mike, the first time I went to the Philippines was back in 2012. I was so excited. I fell in love with the country, the food, and the people. Yeah, Elvin, you know what? It's not hard to fall in love with the people, the food, and the country itself. Not all the food, but a good majority of it. I don't know. I still can't eat balut. And there's still some stuff I just can't eat, but yeah, the food is great. The people are tremendous. They really and truly are. But it is sincere. It really and truly is. The scale of distribution is unreal in that documentary. Yes, it is. It is. I mean, you can see that they are clearly getting ready to or be prepared to move goods and services all over the world, nonstop, efficiently and effectively. Hopper's a great app to compare flights on different days. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never used it, to be honest with you. We've never used it. And the reason is just because we're stuck with just limited airlines here. Cebu Pacific is pretty much the cheapest, biggest go round. And hang on. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And Cebu lists the prices, per day. So that's why we don't use it. If we were in the States or elsewhere where we had many more selective choices, it would make a big difference. They're certainly preparing to be a global dominating society, without a doubt. Michael says you can also save money if you fly into a hub and then book a connecting flight to your destination with a local carrier. Then you can take a flight to another vacation spot for a few days. Yeah, that works. That works. Absolutely works. And we've done that in the U.S. Not so much here, but it works without a doubt. That is for sure. Well, folks, I want to thank everybody for dropping in, but I'm going to have to go check on Arlen. We've been in here an hour, and I want to free up space for other bloggers to have live still in this time frame. So I want to thank everybody. Thank you. Please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. We'd really appreciate it. And we hope you have a great day and the rest of your weekend goes terrific. All right. Thanks for showing up. Bye-bye.